We have an episode today on the RR Show with me, Vince, with an episode full of, let me double check here actually, I think we got 1, 2, 3. We have got 5 malicious compliance stories. So let's jump into it right now. Our first story comes from Maleficent Way 8694. Remind me of my work hours. I will remind you of my work hours. A few years ago now, I worked as a nurse in Wales. There was a junior sister there who was an odd woman. She would open bully a couple of staff members by telling them to do a faster handover by entering the room several times during said handover to tell them to be quicker, until she was told they would be a lot quicker if they hadn't been made to stop several times during their report. I didn't drive at the time, so had to take the bus. One early shift, the bus was a bit late, which made me 5 minutes late to the start of the shift. I was told by the junior sister that I would need to take 5 minutes off my 20-minute coffee break or work an additional 5 minutes at the end of my shift. When I started to voice my annoyance at being punished for something out of my control, I was told your working hours are from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. with one 20-minute coffee break. I chose to deduct the 5 minutes from my already short break, as leaving 5 minutes late would leave me late for my bus home. A few shifts later, I was getting on with my work and had a few care plans to rewrite. At the time, all notes were handwritten, as I had been a bit frosty with the junior sister, just keeping any conversation strictly professional. I sat down to start rewriting said care plans. Junior sister asked if I wanted a hand, to which I replied, if you would like to, thank you, to which she picked a bunch up and went to her office. Cue malicious compliance. Bang on 3 p.m., I packed up my things, grabbed my coat, and made a point of saying goodbye to junior sister. She looked up from her desk and asked me where I was going, to which I responded, home. She said she was still writing my care plans, and I would write a couple so she can get them done quicker. Yes, you guessed it. I replied with, my working hours are from 7:30 till 3. I get no leeway when my bus is late, so I will no longer be staying after my shift has finished. I will just hand over any outstanding jobs to the next shift, to which I walked off. I would like to say the look on her face was priceless, but I had already left the ward and didn't see it. So worth losing 5 minutes to not be able to finish my food on my break. The next story comes from everybody's therapist. Let your best employee go? I'll take it all down with me. This happened a couple of years ago, but I was thinking about it recently. I worked for a company doing their media design, graphic design, photography, live event AV, video editing, etc. This company held big events, and over my years at the company, I was given more and more unrelated responsibilities until I was doing the jobs of at least 4 people. They also never helped me pay for any of the materials, so all the necessary media equipment was paid for out of pocket. All of them had my name on it, to make sure that it wouldn't get lost if I let it out. Over the years, I had accumulated a pretty impressive supply through secondhand purchases and watching for deals. By the time I hit my 5th year there, I had thousands of dollars in high-end equipment that was used for almost every part of the organization's promotion and event production. I think you can see where this is going. One day, I was brought into my boss's office and told that they would be downsizing, and had found someone fresh out of college with no real life experience that will be taking over my jobs as well as a few others. I was completely caught off guard. They then had one of the people from corporate follow me to my office to assist in cleaning out my stuff. He specifically said, "Take everything that is yours, you won't be coming back." So that's what I did. They clearly expected the usual paper box full of some photos and a plant, but instead I had them all in crate after crate of our media and event supplies to my car. I had a 2004 Ford Explorer at the time, and by the time I left, It was filled to the brim with every box we took out to my car. My boss began to get more and more panicked. At one time, he said, "You can only take things that are yours." And through my sadness and anger, I was able to find it in me to kindly tell him that every single thing I was taking was mine and that I kept all the receipts if he wanted proof. The final nail in the coffin was when I told him that I would need access to the arena's AV booth and the catwalk. I still remember the fear in his eyes. We went and I unplugged all the cameras that I had been lending to my events team. All of the cameras were clearly marked with my name. I felt like the Grinch just walking around taking all the random things in the building that had my name on them. Driving away, I was heartbroken that a company I'd given 200% to in every way somehow had picked someone younger and fresh out of college to replace me. But I won't lie. The smugness coming off their face as I stripped the place bare was worth it. Looking back on it, that was the worst and most toxic job I've ever had. The company only lasted another year before they folded entirely, and I'd like to believe I had a hand in that. And to think if they had just compensated me fairly and purchased the necessary things themselves, instead of forcing me to provide my team with things, they wouldn't have had to start from scratch. Our next story in this Malicious Compliance episode comes from Bappery, or Bapery. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. My apologies. If you don't like it, you can just leave. I've been working with a home health agency for the better part of 9 months. I work 12-hour days with cases ranging from complex to simple. In that time, I've worked 11 unscheduled doubles, 42 additional 12-hour overtime shifts. I have used exactly 2 sick days, one for myself, one for my kid. I do not call out, I do not show up late, and I don't do the corner cutting they suggest. I take vacation time on my off days. I save them on 3 specific occasions from failing audits. I picked up so much because A, the money's nice, B, I legitimately care about the well-being of my patients, and C, they beg me. You see, the company I work for likes to take on new clients without having enough staff to cover the patient. Then they freak out and offer bonuses for us to pick up. These are governmentally contracted jobs with big DOE bucks coming in. If they can't prove the patient is taken care of, they are fined heavily. Too many fines, and they're blackballed from taking new DOE clients at all. This company is so poorly run, it's a joke. They have 8 schedulers, but still send mass text every single day asking for us to pick up. These happen all hours of the day and night. They often double book or randomly change schedules without informing clients or nurses. They also underpay for my area. Not much, but paying $4 less per hour is a big deal. They also won't respond to your questions, calls, or texts for days to weeks at a time. I've been looking around for a while and found a company that pays more, has good leadership, and they said they'd have me on the ground running closer to home if I just went through their hiring program. I agreed and have been an employee with them for about a month. Just no hours worked yet. Back to my malicious compliance. I knew I'd be out of town for a couple of days and have 9 days worth of PTO banked. I decided to help them out and ask for 3 days off. I assumed that would give them enough time to fill my spot. I did this on September 13th. The days I requested are October 12th, 13th, and 14th. It's a mini vacation for my family since I worked all summer. Monday, I received a nasty email about the final day for PTO request being September 10th. I let the manager know I was trying to help them out by giving them time to fill it. She shot me back with how selfish for me it was to leave her short-handed. She rejected my PTO requests. Tuesday, I showed up at the office to discuss this little frustration. I mentioned my exemplary work history and intention of making things easier for them. She slammed the table with her balled fist and said, You will work those days. I don't care if you have a trip planned to Australia. You'll be there. If you don't like it, you can just leave. It was her nasty smirk that set me off. I stood up, took a mint and said, "As you wish. I expect all my PTO to be on my next paycheck in accordance with our state's PTO laws. I hope you can fill the opening on such short notice." The look of horror on her face was more valuable than the PTO. In the past 24 hours, I've received 19 voicemails asking if I can come to work because they're short. Tonight is my first night with the new company. It ended up being $6 more per hour, 48 minutes each way closer to home, and I get paid 40 hours even though I worked 36. Be careful what you wish for. You may just get it. Our second to last story on this Malicious Compliance episode will continue with due date 2024. College administration says that AI is here to stay. It sure is, and it will reduce cheating. I'm a college professor and teach a first-year core linguistics unit. Cheating has always been a problem, more so with the advent of AI, where some students turn in reference lists, chat, GPT, word salad. There are tools that can detect AI-written text. It's not definite, but if a piece of text is assessed as being likely AI-written, coupled with a student being unable to defend themselves in an oral viva, then it is pretty solid evidence. I submitted academic dishonesty reports for several students. I was hoping to spend an hour or so on a call in total with those students and ask them questions about their essays. I got an email back from admins saying that they would not entertain having oral vivas and that AI detectors give false positives. So unless there is an actual AI prompt in their essay, we don't want to hear about it. And that even if they did cheat, it's just a sign of adaptability to modern economic forces. They finally told me that I should, therefore, learn to incorporate AI in my classes. This happened about 12 months ago. Okay, college administration. I will learn to incorporate AI in my classes. I'm the course coordinator for the core unit. I have full control over the syllabus. I started to use an AI proctoring software for all my assessment and quizzes. This software can use facial recognition and tracks keystrokes and copy pasting. I also changed the syllabus to have several shorter writing assessments, like 400 words, instead of a couple of large ones, like 1,500 words. Before you dislike me for ruining students' lives, this is a first-year course. Additionally, only citizens can enroll in online degrees in my country, and they only need to start paying back their student loans if they earn more than $52,000 a year. The result? Cheating has been reduced to a nil in my unit. All forms of cheating have been abolished in my class, including paid ghostwriting, AI, and human. I was called to a meeting a few weeks ago where a board told me that data analysis showed that a higher proportion of new students in my major are discontinuing their degree, and that this was forecast to cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars in tuition and CSP funding over the next few years. They told me that they fear my unconventional assessment method might be to blame. I simply stated that I was told to incorporate modern technologies. We are offering an asynchronous online degree. Our pathos is to uphold academic honesty, and that I offer a flexible, AI-driven asynchronous assessment options that are less demanding than having to write large essays. Our final story in this episode, full of malicious compliance, is from user Sigback. I do love following them company policies. So it's my birthday month, and while some stores offer their Fidelity members, people with club card, certain items like the garden store let me pick out a little potted plant, perfume store gave me a free little travel size perfume, etc. Some stores only do a discount code, and only if you make a purchase. which is wild to me. I'm in France, and normally it's just a small free item, no obligation, no strings attached. Just come into the store and pick it out. For example, I ordered some wooden advent calendars for my kiddo to make while on the upcoming school break. And after I place the order, I suddenly get a birthday €5 off my next purchase when I spend a €20 email. No problem. I had set my delivery for pickup in store, so I just returned and rebought the items with the €5 gift. Perfect. Thanks, Reddit, for the idea, by the way. But the malicious part comes from the tack store. I got a gift card there and actually have had my eye on some things for my horse. So I went in and saw that I have a 20% off coupon on all items, but only starting next week. It's store-wide. So I see the items I wanted in the color I want, and there's only one of each item left. I ask if they will restock or can order me some if they happen to sell out before the sale. This is common, so they can order anything from their catalog, so it's not rude to ask. The cashier says no. Okay. I ask if they can put items aside or if I can call in advance to see if it's stocked. No, this is so weird to me. I'm thinking I have slighted this person because normally the sales representative have no problems holding items for 24 hours. But she states company policy and says she won't do it. Okay, that I can respect. So I ask about their returns and how long I have to return an item and what conditions. 30 days? Super. I bought the items, and next week when my voucher becomes valid, I'll be able to return and then rebuy the item. She actually smiled when she understood. We are both respecting the company policy, and it's my perfect way to ensure the items are stocked. Plus now, she can legitimately order more for her location. Ah, compliance. So thanks for being with us. The RR Show is a production of Evergreen Podcasts and Wessler Media. Now, if you'd be so kind, please follow or subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're feeling extra nice, you might as well leave a 5-star review. But for more, visit the website, rrshow.com. That is rrshow.com. I'm your host, Vince. Thank you to my producer, Kevin, and we'll see you next time here on the RR Show.